Okay, perfect. So this is a topic, power of habits, and we all have some habits. We have some good habits, we have some bad habits, we have some habits, and we keep labeling them. This is good or this is bad. The way we want to form our habits, we see some benefits from some habits, and we see others doing that, so we label it as a good habit. Or sometimes we see an habit which is damaging us internally or externally, we label that as a bad habit, right? Sometimes we have a habit which doesn't give much result to that also we have, that we call habit, because repetitively we do those things, right? So today's topic is basically the power of habits, where we are just going to discuss that how a specific habit can help you, or can damage you, or can in a sense make something sequential which repetitively can help you also, right? So, as Aristo said, good habits formed at youth make all the difference, right? So, let's start with that. And so we have seen different habits, lot of different habits. As you see in the picture, some people have habits of exercising, some people have of playing music, some people have of tracking, some people have some bad habits also, and some people like sleeping. Lot of habits are there with people, right? So I will start with a simple question, and I want to make it interactive, so feel free to ask questions in case you have any. So a question: let's say if you want to change any habit or improve on any habit, which habit would you like to improve today in your life?
Habit of exercising.
Habit of exercising. Okay, perfect, nice. Anybody else?
Waking up early.
Waking up early. Yeah, so we sometimes want to wake up early, but you're not able to. So that is a habit you want to improve on. Okay, nice. Anybody else? Let's make the question little easy. If you are you think you are good at one habit, what is that one good habit that you have? We all have good habits, right? At least one. I can tell one. You have to tell second. The good habit is you came here. That's one good habit, right? Right on time. Right on 11 o'clock. You are investing time in something good at Sunday, which is leisure day usually. That's one good habit. What's another good habit? Tell me one. Just one. You can't see anybody in pain, right? That's a nature. That's a nature. When you see somebody in pain, you have sympathy, you have empathy, you want to help that person, right? That's your nature. But what is that habit which is repetitively you do when you think it is a good habit?
Reaching office early.
Reaching office in time, making it looks like you're ethical and loyal to office and following a good officerism. Perfect. That's a good example. Any other habit that you feel?
I try to help my kids in doing their homework.
Oh, nice. No, it's a very difficult habit to gain, because we are so submerged into our daily life. We are not able to find time for them. We sometimes say, okay, you see TV, I'm busy, I'm in meeting, you do something else. Perfect. You develop a good habit. We are so busy in life that we are not able to find one good habit in ourselves also. How difficult it is to, extract our own thing for our own good sake. Perfect. So anybody wants to share anything which you want to improve, or which you want to, you want to share a good habit, or
I want to stop yelling on my child.
you want to stop yelling on your child? Okay, that's a bad habit. Perfect. Okay, nice. Anything else? Anybody?
I want to be regular in waking up early in the morning.
He want to get up regular in the waking up early. He's also said waking up regular is one thing. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, we can talk about it.
I do want to wake early.
You too want to wake up early in the morning. Nice, nice. You know why you want to change a habit?
Sleep early.
Because I sleep. You want to make a habit because you know if you are not taking that habit, you might be losing something out of it. And because you are losing something out of it, that attraction of not losing something is bringing you to the good habit, right? And that's why you want to change one habit, right? Okay, nice. Anybody? You? Yeah. So the question is, if chances is given, what is that one habit that you want to improve in your life? Just one habit, or one good habit that you have and you want to share. Both sides.
Okay, for me, if any challenges comes, so, okay, whatever might be the situation, I just visit it with, without thinking about the result. But I put my, the hardest part there. So that I can, I don't know whether I can solve or I can't solve, but I know.
You will try. You will try and explore.
Yes.
So trying and exploring is your nature. That's your nature, and nature will occur whenever an event happen, right? I'm asking about habit, which is repetitively, daily, and very frequently. If not daily, then very frequently. So what is that one habit you would want to improve? You think you want to improve, or what is that one habit that you want to, you think it is good at? So for example, I give everybody, you came to this session, that's a good habit. On time, that's a good habit. What is that one more thing? It's a good habit within you. He said he is going to office regularly on time. That's a good habit because it helps a lot to be, good at work as well.
So again, if you're talking about application, let's say we all are here. So irrespective of any conditions, if I'm attending the session, so with all circumstances I'm attending. But
Yes.
practical situation, this is what I can learn. Now that I'm attending for 30 minutes or 40 minutes, whatever it might be, and going forward, I'll attend in the full conditions.
Perfect. Nice. Thank you. So with this, we will start our session today. That how to see habits. Yes.
Thank you, Amit, for giving the brief introduction. Let me tell a little about Amit Prabhu. So he is currently working as a senior data scientist in Microsoft in the field of natural language processing, predictive analytics, and he's with Microsoft India for past 14 years now. And overall experience, he has is of 17 plus years. He is also into the field of academics. He has got his first master's degree in master's in computer science from University of Hyderabad, and second master's as advanced management program in business analytics from ISB. He is a faculty and mentor at multiple institutes, universities for computer sciences, AI and ML. Member of the Board of Studies in Wasabi College of Engineering. Recently, he came across into this field of quantum computing, where he has also got a background. So, coming to this field of spirituality, he came across, and then that is where his new journey in life started, where he started exploring the knowledge of Vedas and how they are helping or they can help our generation and our future generations to come. So, practicing spirituality by practice under empowered gurus, he has started exploring the various Vedic literatures like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and he is also trying to help others in doing so. Also, he has been helping youths in and around his living society and trying to bring them up to pace so that they can also leverage on this knowledge which he has started gaining his hand. So, over to Anand.
Thank you, Varun Prabhu, for nice words. Yeah. Okay. So before we move into habit, we need to understand that how our mind works, how the mind works on things. So let's know about that. About mind before knowing about habits, because it's important to know. So we will have this talk in 3 sections. One is about mind, then habits, and then one more section, and then we will conclude with the key takeaways that we have. If you have any questions, feel free to raise those questions. Now, so can somebody read this for me? Anybody can read this for me? So this is some research, behavioral research that about mind people have done in the psychology. Can anybody read aloud? Yeah, please.
Yeah, leading behavioral researchers have told us that as much as 77% of everything we think is hearing, counter-producing and works against us.
Right. So this is a research which tells that how our mind works. About 70% of the thoughts that we have are negative in the day. Now you might be thinking, how many thoughts do I have in a day? Let's say if I have only 10 thoughts in a day, 7 are waste, right? They are all completely negative thoughts, right? So researchers have not stopped there. They have gone one step beyond to find this. Can somebody else read?
On an average day, the average person runs about 60,000 thoughts through his mind, although most of which are random and unnecessary.
So we have 60,000 thoughts per day. That is proven, written in Science Journal, Philosophy Journal, and all the brain research. Okay, so we have six on an average. Somebody may have little more, somebody may have little less. Maybe somebody is having a lot of meditation and able to calm and control the mind. He may have maybe less, but people have that kind of average number, right? So we saw two facts. One is we have 77% thoughts which are usually negative producing. Don't worry, we still have some 23% positive thoughts, right? Then we have about 60,000 thoughts which on an average we daily have in mind, right? And then this is 90% of those thoughts, 90% of those 60,000 thoughts are actually which are thought one day before. So usually whatever you have done previously, just one day back, you will think about that today. 10% new thoughts will also come because you might be meeting new people, you might be reading something new, you might be reading something new, or some random thoughts will come based on something else. But 90% thoughts are whatever happens previous day. So when you attend this session, possibly you will think about the session tomorrow for sure, right? Because that will fall in the probability of 90%. Then we have a medical research which said 75% of all the illness that is self-induced. We ourselves think too much of it, and then we get a lot of problems also into them, right? So help me understand, what do you think? Do you really think that mind is our friend or mind is our enemy? At least that this is statistics that it is being shown. It's enemy for sure. Okay. So mind is your servant or master? You in this case.
Yes, it is.
It is master. So what mind says, we keep doing, right? We are not thinking that what is happening and how it is happening. So that was the question, mind is your servant or masters. Now let's look at the angle of what our scripture says, what our Vedic scripture says. Our Vedic scripture says it is not your friend, it is not your enemy. It is based on a condition. And what's that condition? The condition is, if you control that mind, then it becomes your best friend. And if you uncontrol, it is not controlled, then it becomes your greatest enemy. It's only about you. How do you train that mind, right? Does everybody agree with that? Yes? No? It's about training the mind. But yeah, mind is there. Current conditioning is it is not good for us. Future conditioning, maybe we can train and make it much better, right? That there is a possibility of that, right? So now, can the mind be a good friend? So there is an example, and you see two images in the left side and right side. In the left side image, you see that surgeon is there who is taking the knife and trying to save a life. A good act, right? In the right hand side, somebody is trying to rob somebody else, right? So same knife, same object, with the intent, one is doing good and other is doing bad. Now, if you take this analogy, the mind is knife, right? You can do good or you can, do bad. So if your mind becomes your friend, then it can help. But if it makes you suffer, it becomes monster, right? It's like if you see the key and a lock. If you put the key in the lock and you move to one direction, the lock opens. The same key, the same lock, only direction is changed. What happens? It's locked or unlocked. So it is like that. So our if you see from the Vedic wisdom that how mind is described, it is still described in this way, where it is written, Man eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. It is clearly mentioned, Man eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo, which means that mind observed in different sense objects is the cause of bondage, is a cause of problem, and if it is detached from that, it is a cause of liberation. Detachment means not leaving things, but detachment means mind not thinking about unnecessary things. Then it is something which can help us in different areas also. It can help us our work also, right? So if you talk in Hindi they say, मनुष्य ही सभी मनुष्य मन ही मनुष्य सभी मनुष्यों के बंधन और मोक्ष का प्रमुख कारण. It is the main reason that is there. So that's there. But if we do not control the mind, what all can happen? All this can happen that you see. We can have a lack of confidence. Sometimes we can have a lack of trust. We can get mad on things. We can have dangerous diseases. We can have a lot of stress. We can have a depression, hypertension, and we all know this. It's not new to us. There are a lot of instances where even students are not able to keep up and pace up with their studies, and they get pressured and they take extreme steps, right? There are people who are under the borrowings of banks, take extreme step in unnecessary tension and stress, right? There are many examples throughout the world that we see days in and days out on our television, print media, electronic media, and keep hearing from society also something gone bad. People looks very happy from outside, but when you talk to them, it looks like they're not happy. They have a lot of stress. Maybe because of some habits, maybe because of some pressure, maybe because of some thinking. This, analysis paralysis. We keep thinking. In actuality, nothing happens. 95% of the things that we think will happen bad actually don't happen at all.
What do you think is by nature?
Sorry?
What do you think is by nature of the human?
Yeah, it's by nature, but that can be improved. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's by nature. So that's, if you see the previous slide, that research showed 77% of the thoughts are usually negative in a day. The research told this is the condition. So research is not telling what's the reason. Research is telling what is the status. It is not telling why. It is telling what. Now we will discuss how also, and how we can change that also. Okay. Now, so there is an analogy that I want to give you, that how this whole system works of body and mind and other things. Okay. So take this example. What are you seeing here? What do you see here?
In one country.
There is a horse. Somebody is on the horse. Two people are there. Some ropes are there. Somebody is pulling those ropes. It's trying to control the horses, and then this is
some consequences that they are not expecting, and then
Correct.
their expression like.
so horses are there which can go here and there, or they can go in a single direction. And when you pull out the strings of ropes, it can either listen to you or may not listen to you. But this is an analogy. Now, if you take this analogy on our body that we are having, you will see that compare these 5 horses with the 5 senses. We know all those what 5 senses are there, right? Eyes, ear, nose, touch, and skin, right? Now, if you see this ropes, what can we compare it to? This is our mind. And who is controlling this person? Who is controlling this mind?
Yeah.
We ourselves. Our intelligence is controlled. So the person who is there is like controlling the mind, who is intelligence. Your intelligence is controlling the mind, controlling your senses through mind. If your mind is weak, probably that horses will go away, senses will go away, and will do whatever they want. But if intelligence is strong enough, if we keep strong hold of that mind, and minds connected very well to senses, still will control the whole system. But who is this white guy? There is one more person on the chariot, right? Is raising his hand, right? Maybe something like that, right? So we say it's a soul, because we know we are not, at least to some level, we know that we are not this body, we are this soul. This line we keep hearing multiple times, right? So it is not doing anything, and this whole chariot is like our body. So our body has senses, mind, intelligence, soul, everything. So soul is not doing anything, it's just sitting. It is saying wherever you want to take. Now intelligence is good, it will take to the right direction. If your intelligence is bad, it will be something like this. Roller coaster ride the body, right? This is what happens, right, with us many times in the day, right? So if you see very, very closely, there are 2 things that is more relatable to our session of habits, and that is the mechanism of mind, which is this. One is our intelligence, and second is our mind, right? So let's discuss a bit about that, how these 2 things works. So as I have told you that mind controls these 5 things, which is what? Which is eyes, nose, tongue, ear, and skin, right? And mind does 3 jobs: thinking, feeling, and willing, correct? Now, if you see this, mind is a kind of 3 things. One is a storehouse of thoughts. We have a lot of thoughts. this we have to do, that we have to do, to this person we have to talk, that work has to be finished, meet this person, we have to pay this person. A lot of thoughts are there. Then mind has unfulfilled desire. I want to buy a car, I want to buy a home, right? I want to buy an iPhone, I want to do this, I want to do this, this is my desire. Now why it is unfulfilled? What about fulfilled desire? Usually when desire is completed, we forget about it. I want to buy an iPhone, I want to buy an iPhone, I will save money, I will have 70,000 rupees, I will buy an iPhone, next done. Next desire comes. Usually the desires which are fulfilled, we don't think much about it. We think that we have achieved something strictly, right? But we don't give much weight to this sometimes. So unfulfilled desire still keeps in mind, right? Then we have previous experiences. Something that we have previous experiences, we also carry that in our mind that, okay, I don't want to do this job because I got this problem into this. I don't want to get it into again. So I will not do this. That's a previous experience. Or I did this, I enjoyed this a lot, I want to do it again. Both are previous experiences. It may be good, it may be bad, it may be neutral also. So three kinds of things we keep in mind, right? Now, what about intelligence? Intelligence is a decision maker. Okay, you want to do something, will you do or will you not do? Intelligence will help you to take call, right? Now, let's talk about how these two are different, mind and intelligence. Okay, so mind goes by instinct. I see this, I want to do this. Immediately, it says, I will go by pleasure. If I'm getting happiness in doing it, I will immediately do. That's about mind. It goes by pleasure. Intelligence does not go by pleasure. Intelligence go by reasoning. It will wait, watch, think, and then take action, right? So mind goes by instinct and intelligence goes by thinking. It doesn't take immediate action, right? Mind says, what can I immediately get and enjoy this pleasure? But your intelligence says, no, wait. What is my long-term goal? Right? I'll give you one example. Let's say, as he said, he's going to office in time. Let's say if he's going to office in time, but due to some reason, he got delayed by 10 minutes. He is late and he has to cross a road. Now, there is a juggle in the brain. What happens? Mind says, cross the road. Just immediately cross the road. Don't see left, don't see right. Cross the road. You have to reach office. This is what mind says. Immediately, instinctively, immediately. What your intelligence says? Wait. There is a left, see right. Is there any vehicle coming? Is there any red light, any damage? And then if things are passage safe, then move, right? Now, if intelligence is not there, then you may not reach the other side at all, right? There may be something else happening, right? So that's the difference. Let's say another example, you see ice cream, right? So in the previous example, mind is thinking about reasoning, logic, long term. I have to survive also while crossing the mind. Now you see ice cream, mind says, taste it. It's an awesome thing. I want to taste it. I want to have it no matter what. I want to have this ice cream at all. But if you have intelligence, you will take back a seat and think, no, it is a winter season. I may get cough and cold. If I eat, my daughters or son will also eat. He may get cough and cold. Okay. You will think, okay, no, I think I have diabetics. I should be avoiding these things, right? So intelligence will give you reasoning and logic, but mind will say immediately. That's the difference between mind and intelligence. Why I'm telling you this is because it is connected to habit. When you form a habit or you have a habit, if you want to make a habit, mind plays an important role. So all the bad habits, now this is an important thing. All the bad habits comes with your mind and all the good habits comes with your intelligence. Is this part clear to everyone? Yeah. So your intelligence plays a role when you want to make a good habit, but your mind plays a role when you want to make a bad habit. And that is why those instincts plays a role, because you want to immediately do it. You don't want to wait for anything. Okay. So next, any questions? So yeah.
Mind and intelligence both from brain only.
Yes. Both are the part of brain only. Mind and intelligence both are the part of brain only, but they're two different things. These are not two same things, right? These are two different things. So it's like body and soul are two different things, we know. But do we see that two different things today? No. I want to do this. Okay, but when I say I want to do this, आप बोलोगे मेरे मन को ये अच्छा लगता है. I want to do this, right? But do you really want to do it? You know, there is a difference, subtle difference, right? For example, if you see an oil and water, if you mix oil and water, what happens? They don't mix, but still they can sit in the same container. If I have the container, you can see them differently, but they don't mix to each other. Similarly, our mind and intelligence are two different things. We cannot see them differently, but they are different things. And that's why we have to be strong, make intelligence more stronger so that it can take the right decisions and can instruct mind to have calm, patience, and do. And mind can be your friend also. We have seen in the earlier slide that mind can be your friend also, and mind can be your enemy also, right?
In that case, would be mind sensing ever.
No, I'm not saying that you cannot go, but you can use your intelligence to think a bit. Whatever mind is saying is good or bad. Let's say your mind says today is something good, I want to go to temple. Just an example, right? And you can think a bit intelligence. Is it good? Yes, I can take that decision. So in that case, your mind is so mind doesn't think good or bad. Mind just want to do it. Intelligence is a decision maker. You see the slide. It is saying intelligence is the decision maker. So you go to decision maker and take the decision.
We are thinking, we are not thinking.
Yes.
I'm not sure if that intelligence is going to our brain and make us wrong.
You are absolutely right. So so that's why we have to practice that part. We have to practice that part. There is a
Sometimes what happens is, if you said that in first persons, you can control your mind through your intelligence. But sometimes what happens is, even if you are intelligent, but still you cannot control the mind.
correct.
Mind becomes so uncontrollable. So even if you have intelligence, you won't be able to control.
Because there is a concept of subconscious mind also. Let's say you're driving a car. You drive a car. When you're driving a car, and somebody comes in front, what happens? Do you tell that I have to put a brake and my leg should go there? Subconsciously, you just press the brake, right? Your actions happens, and you not consciously do that. That's little different concept of subconscious and conscious mind. But what I'm telling is, mind take action, and it doesn't think action is good or bad. As you said, it can be good, it can be bad also. Right? Somebody is immediately coming in front of a car and you put the brake. Now, if you think, okay, I will take intelligence decision, should I put a brake or not? That person will be gone, right? So I'm not saying mind always is bad. No, mind is not bad. The nature of mind is to take action immediately. And when every time you take an action immediately, 90% of the chances are there, it will be a bad decision.
So in that case, the intelligence should be there to work purpose.
Correct.
The vision have a very distinct
Correct.
control.
Correct. So when you make good habit, your habits will keep your mind trained that these are the good or bad decisions, and think for a second to take before taking that decision, right? So is so far so clear? Okay, perfect. I'm telling you scientifically and from Vedic side also, so that you can give both the perspective to understand what happens in the brain. Because until you understand what happens inside, you will not be fully relatable to next level of understanding. So next thing is, so this is about mind and intelligence. So we discussed what is intelligence. It is a decision maker which goes by reasoning and logic. What is mind? It is immediately, instinctively. It has to do without thinking anything. It can be good, it can be bad, but we have to immediately move it, right? So if I go with this example, because we mostly are from IT, you can see this example where we have hard disk, which is kind of mind, because we discussed it is a storehouse of thoughts. So three things we discussed about mind. What is that? Storehouse of thoughts, unfulfilled desire, and what is the third one? Previous experiences. These three things mind contains. So it's like a hard disk. And then you compare the CPU, which is an intelligence, which takes the decision, how to process it. And this is our body. And this is our senses, servometer. We keep typing on keyboard and all. We are giving the inputs, right? So this goes by this. Now, if you see the same thing which I have discussed scientifically previously, if you see from the Vedic understanding, there is a shloka that's there in Bhagavad Gita which just says, Chotram chakshu sparshanam cha rasnam ghranam cha adhisthaya manaschayam vishya up anusevate. So there are 5 things. One is our ear, skin, tongue, eye, and nose, right? So what Bhagavad Gita says, we actually, we as a living entity, we have this gross body, right? And we obtain a certain type of eyes, nose. We all have different faces and different senses, right? And we thus enjoy this particular set of sense object, Everybody has different enjoying capability and mentality, right? So we have 5 things: ear, skin, tongue, eyes, and nose. So in Shastra, there is Shabd, Sparsh, Ras, Roop, and Gandh. Shabd means you hear by ears, right? Sparsh means you touch by skin. Ras means, which is the Roop, means we see the forms through our eyes. And then fifth is Gandh, which is the smell, which is who take that nose. Our nose helps to smell things, right? So these are the 5 senses which gives the input to whom? Input to mind, right? So now let's discuss a bit deep about these 3 things that we have discussed. Mind. Now the mind has 3 types of thought. So first thing first, it is storehouse of thoughts. So what kind of thoughts mind have? Mind have basically 4 kinds of thoughts. One is positive, second is negative, and third category is necessary and waste. So what's positive thoughts? We can all see these emotions: love, joy, hope, mercy, peace, honesty. These are all positive thoughts. And we get encouraged when we do something doing this also. If we see an act of kindness somebody is doing, we also get the same feeling we should also do the similar kind of act somewhere else, right? That's a positive thought. Negative thought, we see somebody angry, we again become angry. However, that's a wrong thing to do, but that emotion automatically comes out with many people, right? So these are all our negative thoughts. Now, necessary thoughts. Yes, I have to work. I should plan my day. I have to go to school for my parent-teacher meeting. I have to plan my day. I want to do so many things, so I need to plan my day and all those things. Career, how do I grow in this knowledge? Routine, am I following the routine, right? Profession, which profession I am, how am I progressing professionally? These are necessary thoughts. You cannot avoid them and you should not avoid them. Waste thoughts, past and future. Why these are waste thought? Any idea? Exactly. We do not have a control. Whatever has happened, we do not have a control. Whatever is going to happen, we do not have a control. Still, we keep thinking about it, right? Most of the time.
Actually disturb a lot.
Yes.
Thoughts.
Yes. Right. So when you have, there are 2 types of things. One is called shoks, another is called chinta. One is called so when you think about the past, you regret a lot. I could have done this way, this thing. I could have done this way, this thing, but nobody can change that. Right? Future, I will do this thing this way, I will do this thing, and you will get worried about it. If it doesn't happen, that what will happen? Will I be able to do it or I will not be able to do it? So all those thoughts will come. That's future. So these are all waste thoughts. So if you see the distinctive type of thoughts that the mind produces, these are 4. So which 2 types of thoughts we should have with us out of these 4?
Positive and necessary.
Positive and necessary. Whatever is necessary, we should concentrate on that. And what is positive thought, we should concentrate on that. Right? So I have... Yes. So I will tell you during the session later. Sorry? We have today. That's the state of today. Yes. So these are necessary and positive thought today on an average. We will discuss that how to increase that percentage to go more and beyond that during the end of the session. Right? So I have a question to you. Second is our unfulfilled desire. I want this, I want that, I want to achieve this, I want to achieve that. So we dream, right? Sometimes we dream so much that we are not able to complete our day work also in office. Is it true? It happens with many times with people, right? But people have said about dreaming is good. We tell people have good dreams. We tell our kids have good dreams, big dreams, right? So I have a question for you, and the question is this. Take 10 seconds and tell me. Sorry? Nothing good, nothing bad. But if you have to choose one, is it good or bad? What will you choose? Is dreaming good or bad? It's a relative term. How?
See, if you choose, we would give a saying one of the individuals. I was dreaming good. Yes, it gives me a certain what you can say that focus point
Yes.
where I want to reach. But again, if I am driven by it all something or no unlimited part, so there is no point to reach that point. If I follow so many things and because I want to achieve this thing. So in that case, we say it back.
Okay.
But my other was.
I'll help you structure a thought. Yes.
Dream is again what I according to me, dream is something which is not a fact.
Yes.
Which your future.
Which is to be achieved.
Yes, future thing we achieve. So according to me, I think if we remain in a present situation, whatever we have contented, satisfied, I think that
Okay, fine, perfect. Let's move on. So this is our state. We desire, we want good home, good money, good car, good kids, good education, and everything, right? Like Prabhuji said last time, we are so busy that we outsource everything. We outsource the home cleaning, we outsource the kids to school, then we outsource the kids to somewhere else, and everything is outsourced in this world, right? We want because we want the best thing, right? So there are two things. One is called goal setting. Okay, if you're setting the goals and dreaming with deadline, it's perfectly fine. So when you dream with a deadline, I want to achieve this, I have this plan, and by this date or this month I want to achieve it. Okay, not very hard that if I'm not able to achieve, I'll punish myself, not like that, but I have a dream with a goal. That's called goal setting. But if there is no deadline, dreaming without a deadline, that's called daydreaming. You keep thinking, you don't set a goal, and that's it. That's about dreaming. So as you said, dreaming is good also, dreaming is bad also. If it's with goal setting, then it is good, and otherwise it's, it's bad, right? So if we see that how this will work, we will see later. But I just wanted to give you a hint that, if you see rainwater, is rainwater pure or not? Pure, right? Rainwater is mostly pure. But what happens the moment it touches the contact, it contacts the surface of the earth, the mud mix into it, and it becomes black. And then we have a lot of water collection, and we put a filter in home, and then we drink the same water, right? Similarly, when we are born, most of the times we have a lot of good habits. But the moment we started seeing a lot of different association of people, different inputs to different things to our senses, we might have contaminated our brain, and our intelligence might have weakened, and mind is anyway doesn't do anything, it takes immediate actions. So those are the things that will come from. Okay, perfect. Now the next thing is that how do we see the previous experiences? Because this is the third thing that we said. Mind has previous experiences also. So we need to see where our scripts coming from, right? Like we have a principle, garbage in, garbage out. So the kind of books we read gives input to our mind, right? That is through what we are reading the books. Then the kind of movies we see, because movies we see by eyes, and our CPU process that in the brain, and we get a lot of input to our brain, right? So those are the kind of movies. Eyes as a sense object giving the input to mind, right? Music, we hear the music. Our ears are working to listen that part also, right? Our friends, the association that's coming, that's also giving input to us. So this is all about mind. Now our focus is what are bad habits and how do we get rid of them, because we know how mind creates. So we know one thing for sure, that bad habits are created by whom? Mind. And good habits are created by whom? Now we will move slowly that how do we move to this second section, which is why should we have healthy habits, right? So one thing, if you see Westerners, mostly Westerners have better communication. We see this, right? We have better communication skill, they have good managerial skill. When we see Westerners in our office or somebody, we usually have a good perception about them, that they are very better managers, right? They have more interpersonal skills. Most of them have studied a higher education like Harvard, MIT, and we idolize them also. We should also be there, or our kids should be there, or anybody who passes from there has a very high intelligence. We assume that part, right? So now question is, so why our Indians are preferred for the top job? So any idea? Intelligence. Okay. So it may be, anything like this. They may be as hanged, I think. Are they hardworking? Are they cultured? Are they what? These things, I think a lot of good qualities are there, right? But the major reason is this, that our Indian Vedic system value system is based on Vedic wisdom, and it forms the good nature, which comes from good habit. That is the strength. That's why you will see in most of the international organizations, the top post is given to an Indian, because they know these people have a very, very, very strong roots in their value system. And that is made with our Vedic scriptures and Vedic knowledge that we carry, right? So what is habit? first of all, because now now our session is starting about habit. Okay, what is habit? Habit is a settled regular tendency, something we continuously and regularly do, right? And it is a practice that is hard to give up. It's a mental constitution also, right? So as we said, mind, instance, and intelligence goes with thinking, reasoning, and logic, correct? So most of the times habits are addictive. When I say habits are addictive, what do I mean by that? If you see this habit, this is a bad habit, right? And if you play it a bit juggle with the sentence or the word, it is HABIT. Now think, remove H, what remains? A bit remains. You remove A, bit remains. You remove B, it remains. What does it mean? Habits are strongly rooted in our system, in our brain, in our mind. Habits are strongly there, right? They are very, very deep rooted. And that's why if you keep removing small things also, it doesn't go easily, but we keep removing it still. Okay. And then what are the effects of habit? You sow a thought, then you get an action. And the moment you sow an action, you generate a habit. The moment you sow a habit, you reap a character. And the moment you reap a character, slowly you became a destiny. All good words, right? Looks very nice in quotes, right? But these are the real facts. And that's why I told the difference between mind and intelligence today, right? So what are those things that are there, which is, I'm naming them with bad habits, is GIMI. Feel free to take notes if you are taking or you want. So what is gimme? So why bad habits are bad habits is because there are 4 bad habits that we see, and these are gambling, intoxication, meat eating, and illicit sex. Now, gambling, we know, it leads to dreaming and thinking about future, while our all present opportunity we are leaving. I will put in stocks, equity. Okay, when it will grow, I will sell. But if it grows, what we think, let it grow more. We don't sell. If it goes down, oh, don't sell. It will come some day. Why should I take loss? It grows and it comes again. It goes down also. We don't sell. So we are stuck into it and we continuously think about it. That's gambling. I'm just taking a stock. Don't take me wrong if you're putting in the stocks. But I'm giving an idea how our brain functions, because we are greedy a bit sometimes, right? But if you're putting in some money for some investment of safe purposes and you're not thinking much about it, just look is safe. I don't want to get into a debate where I tell you that SIP is better or mutual funds is better. Okay, but the point is gambling is not good. Second is meat eating, which is a bad thing. We should be avoiding. Sorry to offense if anybody have that habit, but this is not good, right? Because our okay, I'll take it for the later discussion. But yeah, meat eating is not good at all, because a lot of emotions that any animal has, some of those emotions transfer to ours also as a part of sanskar in our body when we eat that part. Third is intoxication, which is like drinking habits and all those things. People are not able to leave it at all. And some people, when they are happy, they drink. If they're not happy, anyway they drink. I'm not happy today, right? So they find reasoning to do this again and again. And that reasoning is so strong that even intelligence can't beat it. And they have reason to defeat the reasoning, which is by intelligence. Okay, so that's not good. Sorry? Yes, they feel that I will be happy. If I'm happy, I will become more happy. And if I'm not happy, I will get some happiness. That happiness may be for some time, but next morning it comes down. And it makes a hangover also. We all know that part, right? Next is the sex, which breaks the relationship and things like that. And these 4 things are actually taken from our scriptures only, where it is said, Dyutam Panam Istriya Sunam Yatra Adharma Chaturvidha. Wherever there is Dyutam, Panam, Istriyam. So Dyutam stands for, gambling. Panam means drinking. Istriyam means wrong association or outside marriage association with women. And Sunam means animal slaughter. Wherever these things are there, 4 things are there, it is not good. So these things are taken and compiled from the scriptures that these 4 things are bad, right? And I maybe have some bad habit of yelling on someone. I maybe have bad habit of not teaching my kids and all. Those are also bad habits. But if you see in the roots, these are the 4 roots. If we see these 4 roots very clearly, these are some of the things which are really, really bad,
the value.
This is the Kali. Yes. With this, the Kali is started, right? Absolutely. So next thing is, what are the effects of bad habit? We have financial losses. Sometimes we have social losses. The increased crime is there. We lose the health if we are eating bad food, and our families are lost if we are having wrong association. It leads to conditioning also. All these things are there, and not only this, that it is on personal level. It affects our careers also. If you're continuously ill, after some time, what your boss will say, I think we can't give critical product to this person. I don't rely much on him. He is usually unavailable. Not thinking wrong about it, but he will have sympathy with you because you are not well, right? So all these habits affect our careers also. Overeating can affect our career. Intoxication can affect career. Smoking can affect our career. I have heard in one office, one of my friend was there who was manager in church. I have one person who is awesome guy, but every 1 hour he takes 10 minutes for a smoking break. So I'm losing on productivity. What should I do? So people even judge on see those things also. So some way or the other, those bad habits are so deeply rooted that people are not able to live. There's always sick, then you have to depend on medicine now. Psychological issue happens, marriages are broken, so all these things happen. So how do we get the things from? This is where we get our scripts from. So what are the solutions to these things? The solution is we have to see that what kind of books are we reading. Are we reading right kind of books, or are we reading something else? Because if you're continuously reading newspaper, you may get a lot of negative information and negative thoughts also. But if you're reading some good books that is helping you, maybe some scriptures that can give you the right information, and you can think and ponder upon that, and you can improve yourself. What kind of movies we watch? Do movies right movies or wrong movies? Because the same impact will go to other family members also. What kind of music we hear? Do we hear a very, very loud music? Because beyond the point, your ears will also get damaged. When Deepavali comes sometime, or when other things also come sometimes, we hear a lot of crackers noise also, which is also good. But if very, very, very huge sound happens, we are usually doing like this. Why? Because we have a limit that our ears can hear. And beyond 80 decibel, if it goes, it can damage ear also. So people hear a lot of, I see sometimes people hearing such a huge thing on their earphone that the voice comes out. And the nearby person can also just think about the person who is listening that high sound music, right? And the friends we keep, the kind of association we have of good people or bad people. So these 4 things we have to remember. So there is something called sustain and abstain method, and this is called triple S. So sustain and abstain method advises 3 things. One is start bad habits, remove bad habits, supplement some good habits, and third is stay away from tempting environment. Because the moment you are in the tempting environment, the same ice cream story will happen. I saw it, I want to eat. But when you have less tempting environment, what you can do, you will have your intelligence little bit giving some work to this, to think in every situation, should I go with this or should I not go with this? That kind of information will go into your brain, right? So now the question comes this. Now we are moving towards solutioning, which is our main part, which is how to say no to bad habits, because it's not easy. I told you, remove H, a bit remain. Remove A, bit remain. Remove B, it remains. It remains, right? So now putting on of armor comes with the self chain, and there are 3 things that I want to tell you. That's called, I'm calling that putting on the armor, right? Which is called 3 things. One is attitude, second is behavior, and third is thinking. So I will tell you 1 thing in attitude, 2 things in behavior, and 3 things in thinking. That if you do, slowly we can break these bad habits. Okay, so let's go one by one. What is the first thing? Attitude. So 1 thing that is an attitude is accept responsibility. Accept responsibility for the habit we have picked, right? So don't blame others. Let me take an example. Let's say you talk to somebody for 2 hours, your friend. Okay, last evening or previous day, you took a mobile phone and you talked 2 hours to somebody, right? Next day, you realized I missed an important task yesterday because I talked on phone 2 hours. Now there are 2 ways to tell this to someone. The first way is that you blame the other person. I talked to this person, he ate my 2 hours. The second way to say the same thing is that instead of that, you say that I could have talked 10 minutes and moved on. Thing is same. You wasted 3 hours. You cannot go to that because that's a waste thought, right? Because it's past. But what did we learn out of it? If we think that that person wasted 2 hours of mine, you are blaming the other person in your thinking, which is not good. You should take responsibility of saying to yourself, it was my choice to talk to that person. It is my problem. So I accept the responsibility of wasting my time. And next time I will remember, I will take 10 minutes and move on. It's a very subtle thing. You wasted the time, done. You talk to your friend, done. But the important thing is, are we blaming others for doing that or not? Because whenever we think about the past now, we do not blame ourselves. Most of the times we are blaming others and situations. And we keep bragging about it, right? So that's first thing. First thing about one, attitude. What is that? Accept responsibility. So accept the responsibility, what we do. The second is, so it is always 11:59. Is it okay if I extend 10 minutes more?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, fine. And we started 20 minutes, so I have some flexibility of extend the session by 10-15 minutes. The second is, so this part is clear, take responsibility. Second is, do only 2 things to change your thinking, right? So one is go beyond the body and observe yourself and make a plan and stick to it. Let's say you want to make a good habit of, somebody said, exercising, right? So you can make the understanding this way. I will exercise daily and make habit easy. Okay, if I am not able to go for 30 minutes, I will go for 10 minutes. If I am not able to go in the morning, I will go in the evening. But I will go for sure. So make a habit easy initially so that you can start following that habit, right? And think always positive about things. So for example, let me take another example for this. And this, I think this is in the slide also. Okay, so let's say you know somebody that this person wastes my time when he gossips, and you want to avoid that, right? So you want to avoid your friend. Now, if you are a positive thinking, you will say, I will never waste my time in gossip. But if you're negatively thinking, you will say, oh, if I talk to this person, I will be stuck in gossiping and I will waste 2 hours. So in the second case, you are negatively thinking that the presence of other person or a situation will waste my time. And the positive thinking is, you are making a principle for yourself. I will not waste my time in gossiping. The moment you go to the negative side, you will again fall back into the trap of mind. But if you go to the positive side, you will make a principle and stick to it, which will help you to form the good habit. So the first is take responsibility. The second is take responsibility, but being positive only. Okay, because you have taken responsibility for your own habit, not others, right? Once I was going to one exercise gym, and then gym was closed. I could have said, oh, gym is closed, I can't exercise, but then I can walk. That's also a form of exercising. So you should not be a gym exerciser, but you should be exerciser. You should not complete a book, but you should plan to be a reader. So make such habit which is very generalized, and you can do otherwise also, right? So these are 2 things that we have to remember. Third is do 3 things to change your behavior. Now, what are those 3 things? What is right? Choose the right, and boost your willpower by disciplined practice. Now the question is, sometimes what is right, how to choose? We don't know. We take an action and we say, time will tell whether this decision was right or this decision was wrong, right? Because at the same point, we sometimes, even intelligence doesn't know. We might be trying something for the first time and we may not know it is right or wrong. So how to find what is right? So we should have an ability to discriminate. And I will talk how to develop that ability also, right? Second is choose the right. Once you have the discrimination ability of choosing right and wrong, then you can choose the right. And third is you boost your willpower with discipline practice. I continuously remind myself that I want to do this, and I continuously continue on that, and I make a disciplined decision, right? So this is something like you might have read at multiple places. Stick to a habit for 21 days, and 22nd day you are done in it. And try it, works sometime. So you can think about it. Even that applies to habit of sleeping, that applies to habit of exercising, that applies to many habits, right? But continuously, if you do for some time, it comes into your nature slowly. So the third part, which is the full solution, is what are the 5D formula for escaping bad habits that we have? Any questions so far? You're good? Okay, perfect. So 5Ds formula is what I have. So one is breaking the habit, and I will talk about forming good habit. So the first point first, which is our desire and discipline, right? Our desire and discipline, how do we improve on it? We have to, see what kind of good association we are doing. Not only good association of people, but good association of what kind of books we read, what kind of movies we see, what kind of friends we make, right? Remember the Gigo principle, the garbage in, garbage out, right? So this is the first thing. Second is the discrimination. How do we develop a discrimination power? Because until we are able to discriminate between good and bad, we will not be able to choose what is good or what is bad. We will have to, and we have to choose the right thing, the good thing. So that happens when you sharpen intelligence by some scriptures. For example, Bhagavad Gita I have said, right? So it gives you, it sharpens your, Vivek Buddhi. Call that now wisdom. It improves your wisdom. And when you read the scriptures, it helps you to understand whenever in any situations you are there, what is the right thing to do and what is the wrong thing to do. So if this is wrong, you will be able to make better decisions. But it will not happen in one day. It will slowly happen. So when you want to discriminate, you can sharpen intelligence. Third thing is determination. I am definitely want to do it. The consistency. Then when Varun Prabhuji sends the message in our WhatsApp group, there is one small line written there. Does anybody remember? Success is not about greatness. It's consistency. Greatness will come. It doesn't matter that whatever you're doing, you will be succeeding on one day, but you will success someday if you continually do it. Right? In our corporate world also, we say progression over perfection is more important. You continuously do, even if you're doing bad, but keep doing a small, and you will someday reach the perfection. And to be honest, there is nothing called perfect in this world. There is no perfection for anything in this world at any this material platform. There's nothing called perfection, right? So third is determination. Now, how does determination comes? How does that willpower becomes strong? That is by if we meditate, if we chant. If we do chanting and meditation, that is the way we can, bring the determination. And it increases our humility, tolerance, confidence on all those things, right? The next thing is dependence, right? And we all know we are not the controller. If you remember the first session, stress management, most of the times we have heard from Prabhuji that we are not the controller. The controller is somebody else. Maybe Almighty God controls many things and almost all the things that are there, right? So dependence, how do dependence is increased? With gratitude, prayers, and practice. If you have a gratitude attitude and you prayers, the practice, that dependence will come there. So it says like when your prayers go up, the blessings comes down, and you becomes more determined, right? It's like you don't worry about things also. For example, our kids don't have bank account, right? But if you ask them, do you have money? They say no. Do you have bank account? No. Because we are with them. When the parents are with them, they always feel safe. Money is not there, what big deal? Doesn't matter. Similarly, if we do not have many things and we are not having many attributes and good qualities also, and we are trying to develop good and believe in God, and we become dependent on them and having enough gratitude, we will be confident enough, determined enough, because we have a good dependence on somebody and we know that it will happen for sure. And that positive confidence will take us to the next step in a good habit progression, right? And the next thing is de-addiction. Remove bad things so we can replace something with something else, right? So for example, few months back or something, I was telling my kids don't see TV. Okay. And then they said, my younger one said, so what to do now? Of course, when you are not doing one thing, you want to replace it with something else. Then I thought to myself, of course, if she's not doing it, what else he can do? So I sat with her, started some activity, and that engaged her. So kids don't want to see TV. They want our time, right? If we give enough time, they're not interested in TV, right? So the point is this, that I'm not taking parenting session, which Prabhuji has explained much better than me. But my point is, if you replace something bad with something good, you will be still engaged, but move to the right direction. But if you are only thinking about cutting down something, but not thinking what to replace it with, you will always go back to the bad things. So you want to put your senses in the right direction rather than restricting the senses. I'm not saying restrict the senses, don't see movie. I'm not saying don't eat food. I'm not saying don't do this. I'm saying put it in the right place. So I never said de-addiction. I said replace it with something. So these are the ways by which we can, slowly go into the next, right? And this is the conclusion that knowing is not enough, as we know, right? We must apply also when we go back, and willing is not enough. We must do also. So with that, I will conclude my sessions. So before I conclude, I will say thanks to my Shiksha Guru Nirendra Prabhuji and my seniors like Shailin Prabhuji and Varun Prabhuji for having support and guidance for me to have this session. Any questions we have? Or anybody want to share anything that they want?
On habits. Now.
On
Now you
habits.
can ask the first question.
So
Like, you can ask first question.
Part of this is like, I think intelligence is the only thing that we need to develop first. Then we distinguish whether good habits, the last one to you say, and these are the, yeah. So I can say only that we are let's say. Unless I just distinguish the good and bad, and that is taken into account by intelligence only. Then only I can just recreate all these things with
Absolutely.
discipline, distinctions, all these things.
yes.
So, everything comes from that intelligence
And intelligence is not only, just one thing. It is sharpened by, because your food for thought is coming from all senses.
yes.
So it's not that I will just do one activity and it will be good. I have to do all the activities, like good association, right? I have to read right books. I have to meet right people, right association, read right books, dependent on the God, and then do the meditation or chanting, and then eat the right food also. When I do all these 5 things, then slowly, automatically, the purification will happen in all the aspects, and we will develop the right habits. We will move to the right direction. So since you don't have a question, I have a question for each one of you, and you can answer just in 1 word or 2 words. What is that one key takeaway that you will take from this session? What that you learned new today that you want to take? Anybody? I will say everybody can tell one thing at least. Yes?
At least inculcate one good habit. That's the how whenever we meet in the next session, we all can talk on that. This is what I
Sure.
learned from today. So, keep another 7 days. I have consistently done this.
Nice, nice. Anybody else wants to tell what is the one key takeaway that you will take from today? One good learning that you will take, or you learned something new also?
I learned the thing that de-addiction and replace.
Pardon?
De-addiction and replace.
Deduction
So,
and-
habit, sorry, deduction and replace. So, I just want my kids seem like you that don't watch TV, but watch something else. Watch Krishna cartoons. Watch something else.
You can replace with Krishna books
Exactly.
also.
So
Yes.
I can replace that things for him.
Yes.
Right.
Nice,
So
nice.
that will exactly decrease my living also.
So channelizing our energy into the right direction.
Right.
That's the whole discussion. Yes, nice. Anybody else? 1 point, sir.
The simple feeling is not what we must do.
It is stick with you. Perfect, perfect. We all know all good things. Yes. Anybody else? Sorry? De-addiction. Replace with good habits. Nice. So you want to share something?
Engaging with good things.
Engaging with good things, right books, right movies, right associations. Nice, nice. So I think with that we will stop. And one good habit that we all can form, and I request all of you to have, please come on time and come regularly. Okay, thank you. So what do you want to talk about next? You got to talk about next. Self-management. Self-management.
Yeah, we don't have a mic anyways, I can stand and say. I hope everybody is enjoying this session. Is it useful? Any feedback, anything that we should add here to make it more useful? Yeah, we have a hand up. Okay.
So these are very useful. Only one suggestion, as you know, maybe the shlokas which you are actually putting in. So if you can have those shlokas, and because see, these books, when we read spiritual books, it is very difficult for everyone to understand.
Yeah.
I can understand, I cannot understand because of that. Sometimes you lose interest in it.
Right.
So what I like to see from your side is it's very simplified. So I think if we can include more shlokas with meaning, and which can actually we can relate it to our
Yeah, so we will see, this is not the end of the world. Okay. We can keep talking together for years. I mean, there is so much of there in the Vedic wisdom that we'll keep learning and it will not exhaust. And I promise whatever we will talk over years will be logical and what is the use that we can take in our life. Okay. The reason for keeping that to minimal is like sometimes it's difficult to digest also. But we can, I mean, that's not a point. I mean, these wisdom are coming from the Vedic scriptures, and there's nothing which is not as per Vedic wisdom, really. Okay, but point taken, got it, makes sense. Okay, and as I said earlier, also like after a few seminars, maybe after Janmashtami, we are planning to start a series of sessions on something called as basics of Bhagavad Gita, right? Where we will talk about more deeper philosophy and really what Bhagavad Gita means and what does it mean in our life, right? I mean, like we all know that we are a soul, right? But what to do with that information, right? And we are not able to use it anyway. So we'll talk about all of that. So hold on for a few weeks, right? And next week, actually, the plan is that we'll have a seminar on self-management, right? Where we end up like being a manager or a leader, we end up managing so many people, right? We manage our kids and we manage our spouses also sometimes or think that we are managing, but we don't know very well how to manage ourselves, right? The amount of frustration, the amount of ambitions and the desires that we have that we want to like really fulfill, but none of them we are not able to, right? I mean, and no matter how successful we are, right, there is always that missing thing. Oh, I should have been able to do that, right? I at least should be able to take care of my health or whatever, my children and things like that. And there is not enough time ever, right? So we'll talk about this particular topic on how to manage yourself next week, right? Makes sense.
One piece there.
Yeah.
I think I don't see some impact there. We should allow some kids also so that these topics are like.
Yeah, so kids are not disallowed, right? I mean, honestly,
I see on the WhatsApp group that the kids on it, on the age like 12 years of and are allowed. So not doing it.
below that because it'll be like kid management otherwise. Right. I mean, like, if there are 6-7 years of kids. Yeah, but the problem, I mean, I don't have any problem. The problem which will happen generally, and I do have my own two kids, so I know what the problem to anticipate is like. Then you'll be engaging with them, they'll be making some noise, there'll be some cars going out here and there, right? And everybody will be looking at, oh, which color car is that, and whatever is happening, right? So that is the only risk, and because the space is limited, we would ideally, as I said, like that series of seminar that we are planning on basics of Bhagavad Gita, any sized kids are allowed. Okay, and we will make sure that kids get proper engagement. Okay, like some of us will be taking care of the kids and giving them some real value, while the big ones also get some value. Okay, so every time they'll learn some shlokas, they'll learn the dramas and songs and things like that, and the drawings and creativity will come out. So, but in this kind of a setup, it will be difficult. So one more question I have, like I know it's not like a lot of people last time, different set of people, some different set of people came, but do you guys feel like that doing such longer seminar at a house will be better, or doing it here will be better? When I said like basics of Bhagavad Gita, which is like a series of seminars, right? Because doing it at a house is like gives us also more flexibility in terms of like a better sitting arrangement for everyone, and where kids can be engaged and things like that, right? And that's the thinking. Otherwise, this is not very convenient place to sit and listen sometimes. We will also plan for lunch for everyone. Okay, so that house becomes a more convenient place then.
But how many number of people?
That's okay. These halls are really big, bigger than this one. Okay. So
I think we can do it on Twitter because there is someone signed up for
it's okay. Yeah, that we will take care of. Like, so don't worry about that. That arrangement is on us to make sure that the house, everybody is comfortable. Okay. Should we?
House here means we not the partner will not be disturbing the house.
No, it will be one of our houses.
Okay.
So don't worry. Yeah, it's. I mean, if you're thinking some third person's house, we'll just knock somebody's door. Can we have a seminar here, sir? Yeah, yeah. It's not like, some random house somewhere we will go knock. No, no. It's one of our houses, no problem, right? But from instead of here, it will be more convenient, right? To engage the kids to have a lunch or to talk freely, right? That's the only reason, right? I mean, for seminars, this sounds okay, but that's the whole idea. If you have any other further questions, you can ask. I mean, because some of you have been coming for a couple of weeks. No? Okay. Sounds good. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice. Very on. Thank you.